Hey everyone, I'm Jay.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Fish Sticks. Welcome to Witches Betwixt.
I managed to learn another level up on makeup. So like I'm doing my brows now too, and I'm like, I look fucking fierce right now.
Yeah. I got my wife her first nightgown, like actual frilly fucking lavender ass nightgown. Is so pretty, and I found a good shader. So we've been dicking around with her makeup here and there, right? And because she still has, facial hair, she has a little bit of stubble, and trying to mitigate that shadow has been real difficult. I finally found a concealer for it, and it's fucking orange, but it works.
I was gonna say orange concealer.
We found this big, thick, high quality crayon. It's from Dragon Beauty.
Okay.
Dragon Beauty used to do just like when Dragon Beauty first started, it was run by a drag queen, and now they do lots and lots of actual like trans makeup for trans women, because they know all the tips and the tricks. They know how to do it. They figured it all out. So Dragon produces this really, really high quality. It's got lots of pigment, like per ppm. So like it's really, really good, and it destroys that little blue shadow on her lower chin.
Oh hell yeah!
So it looks real good. It looks real polished.
Oh, by the way, there's been a TikTok thing that I'm sure you've noticed that I've been hella into lately, which is bimbo talk, which your wife might like because it's super positive, femininity and uplifting, and just like trashing on toxic men constantly. I love it so much.
Can you? What is that? Because that actually came up in conversation.
Bimbo talk?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll link you to one of the main bimbo influencers account. Her name is Chrissy Chapleka. Watch any of her videos and you will immediately understand. It's basically like they basically realize that it's not feminist to hate women for being hyper feminine and sexual, and that we shouldn't be doing that, and we can embrace our hyper femininity and lift each other up and talk about all the ways that men have disparaged us and joke about being ditzy while actually being incredibly fucking intelligent, because we're not ableist and we're not going to belittle people because of their intelligence. Like there's so many things about like modern bimbo culture. I'm like, this is the most feminist shit I've ever seen, and it's about like literally the shit that made me transition, like wanting to be super girly, like very pronounced like body movements and like the way she talks and like everything. It's just like, holy fuck, it's empowering, So I was like, wow, it's been a thing. So I'm like literally banishing with like fucking affirmations of you're hot is a mindset, so is ugly, and we don't listen to ugly people because ugly is a choice. And I'm like, holy fuck, that's been confidence boosting so much lately. Yeah, seriously, it's great. I fucking love it.
I'll have to watch it after the show, because if I watch TikTok now, I'm gonna fall into a hole.
Yeah,
you will. Like Texas TikTok is my thing, because I'm still homesick, even though I'm never gonna go back there, because like it's so trans unfriendly in Texas.
Oh yeah,
and it's getting worse. But like I miss my Texans, so I miss the culture. So
yeah, send me a few of your favorite TikTokers, and we'll do a little exchange.
Oh my god, definitely not Travis at the very least.
Is that the guy who does the sneaks?
No. Here.
Oh, that's your cousin who does the sneaks.
Yeah, my cousin does the snakes. Let me get the TikTok. Hang on. I promise I'm not gonna fall into a hole. I promise.
You're good.
Let me find one.
All right, does anyone have 50 feet of rope ready to pull fish out of the TikTok?
I got 50 feet of rope right here. It's actually technically cable, but it works the same.
I need a couple that are really good. This is the dude that I post sometimes who does the dress code in Texas TikToks. I don't know if you've been around for those or not, but let me see.
I've seen a couple of your Southern posting stuff, and it's always funny.
Let's see. Pet wolves, breakfast tacos, y'all explained. I'm looking for Yee Haw versus Yee Yee. There is a difference between being a Yee Yee and a Yee Haw.
You're a Yee Yee. I know that.
I'm kind of a both. I want to be a Yee Yee, but I'm technically a Yee Haw. Hang on, here we go. Let's see.
Okay.
How do I truncate this link? Here we go. Okay. This dude is from my place in Texas. This dude is from where I'm from. Yee Yee is Yee Haw with more meth and
Yee Yee is Florida man.
Yes.
Cranking his quad as he runs over a gator. And
everyone look up
there's
their Florida man right now. Look it up.
Oh, how do I do this?
Florida man and then your birthday.
Oh God.
Okay.
Google.
Florida May 30th.
Can we record this part right now? Just
I'm
hit
recording.
record so we have this.
Okay. Oh God.
Florida
man hits his sleeping roommate on head with a skillet. Fuck yeah. I carry cast iron, y'all.
Okay. All right. You ready for mine?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So, April 15th, that is my birthday. Florida man arrested in Naples Olive Garden while intoxicated and shoveling spaghetti into his mouth.
What?
Yep.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
It's truly art. Humanity at its prime.
Holding court at a fucking Olive Garden. Jesus. What's yours, Zombie?
I'm looking. So it only gave it to me, not for the year.
No, you just type the month and day.
Here, let me send you the website.
I already punched it in then. So what did Florida man do on August 26th? Florida man on August 26th, he did something. Oh, just fucking bullshit. Florida man arrested by police after demanding cash and donuts from Krispy Kreme. He demanded money and donuts. That's not that crazy though.
No, but
it was your birthday was what?
August 26th, 19.
Oh, is there a whole Florida man website? Like a Florida man?
Yes, there is.
Oh, I did not know.
Florida man birthday challenge.
Here, let me send it. Let me
oh,
put the
Florida.
Link in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see that one. Okay.
I'll put this in the show notes for everyone.
Mine is, the one on this site for me is Florida man was arrested after allegedly driving off from a traffic stop, then calling 911 to rub it in.
Fuck.
What? What?
Damn.
Oh, man. And, you know, my dad lives in Florida now, and he can confirm a lot of this shit is, like, legit shit. Across the street from his house, someone drove a car into his neighbor's house. Yeah, if the guy swerved into the, like, drove the car into that, like, into the wall of where a bedroom where his grandkids would have been sleeping had they been visiting. Fuck. And then he was saying if the guy swerved the other way, it would have been my parents' house.
Oh my God! He should have yelled, "Hey, Kool-Aid!" when he would get it.
Apparently he was drunk. Apparently he was drunk. And the dude apparently like he got out of the car and he was like, "Yeah, I'm drunk." Like, yeah, no shit.
At least he admitted it, so you know.
Yeah, you know, what are you gonna do at that point? But yeah, that's Florida. Florida's wild.
So here's what I was told about Florida. Where does your dad live? Like,
he lives in Port Charlotte, Florida. Okay. So that's like around like Fort Myers.
Lucky.
Down the bottom.
Because 75% of the Florida man bullshit comes from Jacksonville.
Yes, yes it does.
Yes.
God. Oh man, my ex-girlfriend and I were on a road trip. We're still really good friends. And we were on a road trip across the US. So we left Texas and drove all the way to Jacksonville, Florida. We got there at like 2 a.m. We drove past this giant red dinosaur in a parking lot on our way to the coast. We stopped at the coast, put our feet in the water, grabbed a bite to eat at the closest, brew pub, and then we fucked off because Jacksonville. Like, we're like, nope, fuck this. We're going to Savannah.
Is it really weird? Like, is it weird vibes out in Jacksonville? It just feels weird.
It's weird vibes. It's weird vibes.
It's
something in the water.
So here's a fun fact. One of the OG Marauders lived there back in the day, and he still lives there. That's Draconich for you.
Yeah. I know him.
So that's how I kind of heard about most of the shit, but I don't blame the Ellis Web for this, because this shit's been going on for a long fucking time before we've been around, okay? So Florida man's its own fucking phenomenon.
As far as, like, modern day, like, American gods go, like, you got Manifest Destiny, you've got Lady Liberty, Florida man.
You know who I always imagine when I see Florida man?
The true American
Florida man
pantheon.
in my head looks like Joe Dirt.
Yes, with a giant, like, Kentucky fall water, like mullet. Like,
yes.
Yeah, like Squidbillies.
I was just thinking about David Spade the other day. And how great that movie was. How terrible but good that movie was. What a dumbass
I was thinking
movie.
of Squidbillies the other day. Like that song, let's see, my dreams are dead and buried. Like that's been in my head for a few days now.
I don't think I've ever heard
Sometimes
that
I wish the world would just explode. Let me get the song for you.
The only fucking phrase from that whole show I remember is "I don't trust fruit."
Right.
I don't even know why he don't trust fruit, but he don't trust fruit.
But he don't trust it.
Let's see, where is show notes? I'll post it as show notes so you can link it.
Wasn't that whole show just making fun of Appalachians?
Yes, it was.
God damn it.
It wasn't just like, it was making fun of Appalachians in the same way that King of the Hill makes fun of Texans, in which case it's not really making fun.
I love King of the Hill.
It's a self-examination.
Yeah, King of the Hill, like, so my mom went to high school with Mike Judge, the guy that wrote and produced King of the Hill and Beavis and Butthead and Idiocracy. And folks from the Arlington and Garland and really just that side of Dallas, they know that King of the Hill is not a comedy, it's a documentary. It dead ass is. Like, those of us from that area are just like, whoa.
It's like, from what I understand, from what I've seen of a lot of scenes from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate.
If it is, I want to go to Philadelphia.
It's wild here, so.
It sounds it.
Wow, I'm stupid. So I know where Philadelphia is, but every time in my brain, this might be proof that I'm a bimbo, okay? Every time I heard It's Sunny in Philadelphia, I thought Portland. I don't know why, but I was just thinking Portland. And now you explained to me that Philadelphia, which I knew is the city you live in, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, actually takes place in Philadelphia because my fucking brain thought it was fucking Portland up until now.
God.
And now,
American geography.
Well, you've come full circle. Welcome to Philly.
And I hate math.
Thank you, Philly. I still love you, Philly. I still love Philly. Thank Philly for saving America.
With Gritty.
Yes. Gritty saved it. That's another one of our modern day American gods.
It's Gritty.
Holy shit. We need a new modern pantheon.
We do. I really think we actually do.
Ronald McDonald, and he's like Kronos, okay? And Mickey Mouse is like Saturn. And they're
my God,
hard
fucking
Saturn
energy.
Yeah. And
it needs to be the Mickey Mouse of South Park. The I'll kill you, motherfucker.
Right.
I was thinking like the evil, scowling, like Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse, like black and white, and like you can see the paper texture to him still.
Scary ink machine.
I'm waiting for Disney to send us a bill for every mention of Mickey Mouse so far.
Oh, don't worry. They got their hands tied up on litigation right now with that bullshit over not wanting to pay their fucking stars and their crew for Disney Plus features. Holy fuck.
Right, that's nuts. Oh, Squidbillies Theme is in show notes.
Fun fact, Cassandras actually did hit Disney with that because the whole fucking industry has turned on them now and people want blood right now.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Disney has been treating people, like treating their staff, the people that work with them, the people who work for them, like shit for years.
I know.
Decades and decades and decades now. Also, deadass, the narrative that they feed to young girls and young boys is very weird.
That's actually the main reason I wanted to take down Disney, is because I've been looking at a lot of social narratives since I've been in film, and I realized like a lot of the shitty shit that keeps getting propagated is because film propagates it. Right? The Western media machine is a propaganda industry, right? So it's got to naturally have its ties with the government as well. So like, if you look at who writes the overall narratives of the world, it's the entertainment industry, right?
But yeah, like the narratives that Disney puts on little kids is just very, very weird. Like, and I know that it's very stereotypical to bitch about Disney, but at the same time, like, can you think of a good story that Disney has produced wherein the kid had both fucking parents?
Right.
Can you think of like one aside from maybe Moana?
So here's the problem with Disney. They're so big that at this point they have their hands in so many things that aren't even recognizable as Disney, right? Like Fox News. Here's another big thing. Why is it the company that tries to use social discourse and all kinds of critical theory that came off of the backs of people of color, why do they use that to parade themselves around like they're some kind of beacon for like good social values, and then fund fucking Fox News telling people not to get vaccinated when all of their staff have to be vaccinated just to be in the fucking studio?
Yeah, it's so weird to see how many companies are owned by like. Let's see, Touchstone is owned by Disney, ABC, ESPN, A&E, the History Channel.
Should we make this? Should we make this the Disney episode?
God no.
No.
Yes.
So, just for y'all's interest, here's the big scary map of the mouse's assets.
The assets. Okay, let me see.
Worldwide assets.
I've seen the corporate ownership chain, and it's fucking spooky.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see here. Where'd you post this?
Show notes. Jesus.
Also, they own Maker Studios, which if you watch any YouTube, Maker is a big platform for YouTube creators. But they own Maker Studios. It's actually something I like. Epic Rap Battles of History. I'm a huge fan of them. Huge fan. Seen them live twice. But for a while, they were owned by Maker Studios. And one of the best episodes of ERB, let me get it for you.
I've seen this.
It's Jim Henson versus Stan Lee.
Mm-hmm.
And they make it, and it's one of those break-in episodes where they bring in Walt Disney as a third contender, and it's amazing the tongue-in-cheek jokes they make at Disney. Hey, let's see, Jim Henson versus Stan Lee, ERB. It's one of the best they've ever done. And it's hard for me to pick favorites, but like I remember Jim Henson's work when I was real little because he died not long before I was born, I want to say. Like I don't remember him live, but I remember his influence over the media. And he was a really wholesome guy.
Oh shit.
Hang on, let me get it. Here it is. Okay, fine. All right, show notes. There you go. Also, let me just say that Epic Lloyd and Nice Peter, the two dudes that are playing Jim Henson and Stan Lee, they fucking nailed it. They nailed it, y'all.
Holy shit, they own ABC as well. I've been over this photo before, but
they've owned ABC for a while.
I'm zooming in for the nitty-gritty details. They own Vice.
Yeah, they own Vice.
Wait a minute. Disney owns Vice?
Yes, they do.
No fucking way. Holy shit.
They own A&E. They own Crime Investigation. They own Lifetime.
They're selling weird, broken narratives to kids, and they're selling murder porn to adults. Hell yeah!
And their news companies, deliberately sow social discourse that divides the classes against each other. Sorry, the poor amongst each other to continue class warfare. And if you look at who else they own, ESPN, which is what's one of the biggest entertainment industries in the world, sports.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's nuts how they pit people against each other with their own. Oh
my god, they're actually the Illuminati. Not like in like I've been talking about this for a while, like who the people are that actually run the world, because there's no like actual quote scare quotations Illuminati. They don't exist, but there are people who have their hands on the wheel that are steering specific subsets of a culture, right? So this here is like the engineering facility for all the bad shit that's going on in Western society, and everybody else who's doing everything else is taking their fucking show notes from these guys.
It's just pretty nuts how much they control like the dialogue and how much they control the narrative. They don't control all of it, obviously, but they control a decent amount of it. Speaking of the Illuminati, oh god, adventures on Facebook. I got hit up by somebody who's on my friends list. He's got like 34 different mutuals with me. Hello from the Illuminati, or let's see, what was it? Greetings from the Illuminati. He starts the conversation.
Oh boy.
Fucking ridiculous, y'all.
Strap in.
I'm just sitting here going, wow, if you were representing the Illuminati, number one, you wouldn't be copying and pasting boilerplate from a website that did not have any editing done, which is what he did. But, I started
and you'd probably strike up a unique dialogue with the person?
I did. I actually posted screen caps on my Facebook.
He would have, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, no. It just fucking straight up. And, I pointed out, like, look, you are claiming to be all these things, but this is not what the Illuminati were established to do back in the day. Like, the Illuminati was documented 245 years ago at the very least. It was the Bavarian Illuminati.
The Bavarian Illuminati with Adam Weishaupt. Yes, I've actually studied it.
They were, against religious superstition. They were against the influence of the pulpit over human lives. They were against the rule of large governments and abuses of state power, and against like the puppetry and machinations of despots and shit. And what he's let me get exactly what he said. I could never find the site that it came from.
When I read the book on it, Perfectabilists, which is a really good book to read about if you want to learn about the original Illuminati. I'm going to Google this. Actually, I don't know if it's a good book to read. I read it when I was 20 years old. It could be fucking dog shit for all I know, because my brain is 31 years old now and I'm not stupid.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of different organizations since then who have used the name Illuminati, so, like, who fucking knows, man? I don't know. It's like, the Illuminati is an organization of the most powerful and influential elite in the world. We go back for centuries and maintain the same bloodlines. It's like, okay, so you're stagnant, you're inbred, and you're fucking it up because the Earth is dying. Good job, asshole. We set up the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberg Group, and the Trilateral Commission. Those three groups all plan the fate of the world. It's like, well, you're fucking it up, bud. Come on, get your shit together. They consist of international bankers, top government officials, leaders in the energy cartel, and media monopoly owners, and have control over the UN and UNSECO. It's like, our subdivisions reach into everyone's daily life without most steeple, because, copy paste, most steeple even being aware of it. We also have ties to the Freemasons, Skull and Bones, and the Knights Templar. It's like, wow, y'all are the exact opposite. The exact opposite of what the Bavarian Illuminati were. You are just some weird ass Alex Jones bullshit. That is what you are. Good job. And you're fucking it up because we're burning up and we're flooding when we're not burning.
Yep.
Get your shit together, dude.
If you check show notes, the book that I listed is in there. It's really good if you want to read more about the Bavarian Illuminati.
I'd love to. Yeah, that'd be great. It's like, I understand the concept of the overarching hidden government, and I'm sure that there are, at least 2 or 3 dozen of them in the world that are controlling.
There's one for each government system.
But right? I mean, like, if one thing proves to me that they're not as powerful as, Alex Jones or whoever else says they are, it's the fact that they can't get their shit together. Because they can't. So fucking look at the world. They can't get
this. This is another point I was going to make. Why I said the Illuminati doesn't exist in the classical sense is because there's no cohesive group that actually runs the world. There's groups that run subsects of the world and vie against each other for power and territory, and thus, global capitalist strife and wars and everything.
I mean, that's governments too. I mean,
exactly, right? For every single structure that has to be set up, there needs to be hands behind it, setting things in motion to keep the narratives on their side, right?
And the problem is that, like, one hand doesn't know what the other several hundred hands are doing.
It's true. There are many flaws. It is a flawed system, but we should probably also segue to the episode.
Yeah. We've rambled on.
We don't want to make this the conspiracy episode.
God,
I am down for a fun. I enjoy conspiracy theories. They genuinely tickle my pickle. I enjoy them.
They're the worst. I saw, but not
especially
to too much.
If you can take them with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Like, if you can just look at them and just be like, okay, let's just dissect this one. It's a wild ride.
Trash media, you go into it, just enjoy it for what it is.
Exactly. It's just, it's like a guilty pleasure,
I think it depends on the type of conspiracy, right? And God, I feel like we should almost put this little bit here in the episode.
Welcome to the episode where we didn't know what the fuck we were going to talk about. Well, we had a plan. We had a plan.
We came in talking to each other and we wanted to catch up because it's been like 2 or 3 fucking weeks since we talked.
Or we could call this the
chaos.
This could be the ADHD episode.
This is the mixed bag episode.
The miscellaneous episode.
This is the swimsuit episode in the middle of a D&D campaign. We're gonna go to a beach, y'all. We're gonna go to a fucking beach.
We're fucking doing it. We're doing it live.
I'll tell you what I saw on Reddit today.
Oh God.
There was a post, and it was like, I can't remember which country, which is probably for the best, and they have a big outbreak happening right now. And the conspiracy was saying that all of the people who were infected and dying were vaccinated.
Oh my God.
Are you serious?
That's okay, and that's the thing I was gonna say earlier with conspiracy theories. There's like the fun ones, like the British monarchs being fucking reptilian shape-shifting lizards from Nibiru, a la David Icke. You know what I mean? Like his book "And the Truth Shall Set You Free" and all that other shit. Like he's the guy who came up with that. The whole thing about the British monarchs being trans-dimensional shape-shifting aliens that are like drinking our fucking. It just sounds so fucking stupid, man.
God, there's a number of really, really fucking off the wall ones. Like God, what was it? I love all the conspiracy theories that surround CERN. Like,
or HeArt.
Like the CERN one's like we've been sucked into a black hole is one. It's like no, we haven't been sucked into a black hole, y'all. I feel like we would know that. Like
my favorite CERN one is that my favorite CERN one is that they when they turned on the Large Hadron Collider back in 2012, they ended the universe that I was in, and like that's what started the Mandela effect, because some people remember Jason, I think it's Jason Mandela or someone Mandela. I'm probably going to get roasted for getting it wrong.
It was Nelson Mandela.
Nelson. Jesus, why did I say Jason Mandela? What the fuck is wrong with me?
So I was looking at the CERN. The CERN ritual hoax is one of my very favorites about CERN. Mm-hmm. And I had to look up the Wikipedia article on it because I barely remembered it.
CERN?
Basically, CERN, yeah.
What's that?
CERN is, let me get the exact.
CERN is the Large Hadron Collider, right?
Yeah, it's the Large Hadron Collider. I'm just trying to get the actual acronym for it. Figure out what the acronym stands for CERN. But yeah, it's the Large Hadron Collider, and the CERN ritual hoax happened in, when the hell was it? It was like 2016, I want to say. Yeah, 2016. It was found footage that supposedly showed a ritual happening on the CERN campus.
Really?
Yeah, like, and it was a bunch of people dressed in black, and they were standing around a statue of Shiva.
Interesting.
And they pretended to stab a woman in a human sacrifice, and it was nuts because it was just some bullshit. It was a prank. But it hit so many different conspiracy theory media outlets, and they're like, we know what they're doing now. We know what they're doing now. They're summoning the devil. They're summoning Shiva. They're bringing on the Kali Yuga. It was fucking nuts.
Wait. What's bad about Shiva?
Nothing. I mean,
it's just a bunch of white dudes freaking out.
The statue that they picked,
and I thought the one that they were supposed to be afraid of was Kali.
Yeah, right? And it was specifically Shiva dancing. It was dancing Shiva. It was Nataraja. So it was it was just nuts how people misinterpreted it. As an occultist, it was super weird to watch it because I'm like, y'all, have you read a book? Did you do a search on this? Seriously?
No.
What the fuck, y'all? But apparently, yeah, one of the conspiracy theories surrounding CERN is that it's a cult, and then another one is that they've sucked us into a black hole. And they especially
we're living in a black hole currently. That's what the theory is?
Apparently, we did not die from the spaghetti effect. We did not die from gravitational forces. We were not atomized. We are in a black hole or some shit. And
that haven't even crossed the event horizon.
It would be very weird if we had. We would be seeing ourselves in infinite iterations behind us. But like, I don't know. It's like the CERN ritual hoax is nuts because like when we discovered the Higgs boson, collectively as humanity, I say, I'm not a member of CERN, obviously, but like when the Higgs boson was discovered, everybody's like, yeah, we're in a black hole now because of the Higgs boson research. It's like, get fucked, y'all. Read a book. Seriously.
Well,
I mean, we do live in the weirdest ass timeline, but I don't think that CERN had anything to do with that.
It is pretty weird.
Okay, you know what's my favorite conspiracy? My favorite one of them all is that magicians are actually pieces of gods and spirits. Well, maybe not a piece of a spirit, because a god's really big, and like you couldn't have one person be all of like, say, Odin, right? Because he's a popular fucker, right? You couldn't have just one person embody that entire archetype. Get fucked, right? If you think you're the one Odin, you're a cunt, right? But there's probably a lot of people. Yeah, and like tone down that magacitis. Holy fuck.
Right.
But there's so many people who seem like a perfect emanation of the fucker. Like I met a homeless guy one time who I gave money to And then he turned and looked at me through a blind fucking eye and said, thank you. And I was like, whoa, I know who you are, right? I swear to God, the American gods thing that Neil Gaiman was talking about is not fucking wrong. Like, gods literally walk on the earth as homeless people or as, like, magicians, and they do shit while they're here.
Well,
and you notice
he a
it,
studier
right?
of the occult? Like, doesn't he study the occult?
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it would make sense that,
Neil Gaiman wrote a fuck ton of occult-themed comics, too. And he's friends with Alan Moore, and they're, like, major fucking occultists.
Oh, you've got Alan Moore, you've got Neil Gaiman, you've got Grant Morrison. I mean, and you've got to remember, like, a lot of chaos magic especially is tied really strongly to comics, because those have been hyper sigils for us for a long fucking time. Like, the first comic I read about magic was The Invisibles, which was amazing. If you've never read The Invisibles, you should. But yeah, you've got that. You got Books of Magic, which, I mean, Neil Gaiman wasn't fucking around with the title there.
I actually have that. I picked it up. Yeah, Books of Magic. It's either, I think it's like the first. Was it a multi-issue one, or was it just one graphic novel?
It was multiple trades.
It was multiple. But I have one. I think it's like the first book or whatever. I picked it up in a comic book shop for like $5. It was like a thrift, like a secondhand thing. So I haven't read it yet, but I saw it was a Gaiman, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pick this up.
Right? It's like you see Gaiman on it, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna read this, I think. But I mean, if the entire point of chaos magic is making reality more magical, well, the best ways to do it is to train up as many people as you can with magical concepts, whether or not they realize that's what you're doing. So, like, it was really weird to read The Invisibles as a teenager, then come across chaos magic and realize I'd already been front loaded with all of the stuff that I needed to know. And I didn't get it from reading old Golden Dawn books. I didn't get it from reading OTO or books on Thelema. I got it from reading comics, and that's fucking nuts to me. I love it that, like, you can prime millions of people with media to understand concepts that are innate to magic, whether or not they realize that's what you're doing, and that's the purpose of hypersensitivity. I mean, one of the purposes.
Fuck yeah!
Fuck, I think I may have found my calling in life.
Right.
And that ties into something I was literally having a conversation with a coworker about today. Why Spider-Man is my favorite fucking hero, right? Because he's human.
Because he's actually a trans guy.
Fucking human. Yeah, he's totally a fucking bisexual trans guy. Yeah. But that is a fucking story for another time. We will talk about queer Peter Parker another time. But like,
I will love that one.
The lesson of Spider-Man right from the fucking beginning. He gets superpowers, and he doesn't become virtuous. He becomes a fucking asshole. He goes and wrestles for money and beats people up, and he makes a mistake that costs his uncle his life. And immediately, in the first bit, he has to reckon with the weight of his actions. And he is taught, with your power, you have responsibility for what you bring into the world. And he was humbled, and he learned, and he had to deal with it like a human being. And he went through loss and pain. And he takes unpaid internships, and he works shitty pizza delivery jobs because he's always like only worked. And he's been doing gig work since gig work was a fucking thing, you know? Like, all of that, it so relates to the magician's struggle. You come from next to nothing. You have a horrible fucking trauma that wakes you up, and suddenly you can do something. What are you going to fucking do with it, right? And that is a big thing that not a lot of people really look in the mirror and confront themselves with. What you do with your magic, it says a fucking lot about you.
It does. And it kind of mimics the initiatory process and the cycle of a magician going through their little growth spurts slowly, you know. And initiation is not something that just happens like 4 or 5 times throughout your life. It's not a 1 and done or 2 or 3 and done thing. It's something that you continually roll along. The second that you stop rolling, you have fucked up.
Yeah,
there's no end to that. You just continue doing it.
Yeah, I've done multiple kind of like initiation rituals for myself, especially after periods of like either, you know, sometimes I just get distanced from my craft and what I'm doing, you know, just for life reasons or whatever the case may be. But I've done I've done a decent amount of kind of like reinitiation rituals, because it's just sometimes you realize that, you know, your path has deviated, or it's gone a different direction, or it's taken a turn you hadn't really thought of before. And so it kind of feels like appropriate, like, hey, I'm going in this new direction, so let's kind of like reorient.
It is, reorientation is the best word for it, because like if you look at the way that our mythology progresses across the world, and I say we as the human race because like I'm a big proponent of the monomyth. I don't think it's the be all end all, obviously, but there's a reason that the monomyth specifically, and when I'm talking about the monomyth, I'm talking Joseph Campbell, the hero with 1,000 faces, the concept of the power of myth and the cycles of mythology that we can see across the board in human cultures that are unrelated. Like it mimics the cycle of life. It mimics the cycle of awareness and realization, milestones in life. And so that reorientation is you coming back to wherever you were on that cycle, because, you know, the cycle itself has so many parts, and there's a tendency to kind of sometimes get off track.
Yeah.
So like you get, and you see it a lot in trope circles and in literary theory circles, talking about the hero's journey and the different tropes that are related to it. So, you know, you've got the normal world that you inhabit. You've got the call to adventure, where some shit happens that causes you to go down a path that you didn't intend. And if you deny the call to adventure, there are so many different variations of how that call to adventure comes and gets your ass anyway. Because the call to adventure knows where you live. It has your fucking phone number.
Right.
It will show up. You will be trying to live your normal life, desperately living your normal life. And Star Wars is a good example of it, because before Joseph Campbell jumped in, I don't know why I was about to say Stephen King. Before Joseph Campbell in and saved George Lucas's ass with Star Wars and gave it a monomythic framework, it was a shitburger, y'all. But you remember
what, the original script of it?
Yeah, the original script was terrible. It was called Star Killer. And it was just bad. And Joseph Campbell put this monomythic spin on it based on his own work. And thankfully, George Lucas listened, because he was still humble and not chewing on, you know, a continuously full bowl of money. But, you know, you can Star Wars is the best metaphor and the best way to explain the monomyth that exists, because it was written strictly along those lines. You've got this blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid who has a destiny. He lives on a farm with his aunt and uncle, his, you know, Owen and Beru. And the call to adventure shows up in the form of this droid. And this is why, if you ever get me to rant about Star Wars, I will tell you that Star Wars is not about the Skywalkers. It's not about anything. It's about witnessing all of these events through the eyes of R2-D2 and C-3PO. That's what that story is.
They're in every movie.
They are. And the reason they're in every movie is because George Lucas was influenced by a Japanese director named Akira Kurosawa. The movie specifically was called Hidden Fortress. And it's about this samurai who is instructed to escort this princess to, you know, her kingdom because of, you know, political strife. And on the way there, he comes across all these Ronin, and he comes across these two fucking idiots. These two toothless fucking idiots that follow him through the rest of the story. And those two idiots influenced George Lucas to make R2-D2 and C-3PO. And so back to the original thing, like, you're talking about this blonde-haired, blue-eyed farm boy who gets the call to adventure via this droid, but goes back to his job farming moisture. You know, he's got to get those condensers fixed.
Right.
He's got to do all this stuff. He can't do all this stuff. And he has this brush with this wild wizard in the desert who knows about him, who has magic. But then he tries to go back to his normal life. But the call to adventure knows where he lives. So he gets back and finds, you know, his Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen, you know, as charcoal outside the house. Right. That you cannot go home once this happens. You must only go forward. So he gets with this wizard, and they go into the zone of danger. They pass the threshold. They go to Mos Eisley. They go to the fucking cantina. And it's all these weird-ass characters that Luke doesn't know anything about, despite having lived, you know, I don't know how many miles up the road. So
right, it's like he was just in his own little pocket up there.
Exactly. And sometimes, if we're talking about the metaphor of a magician, or, you know, in life, really, sometimes you get called off of that monomythic path. Like you'll end up at that cantina in Mos Eisley, and you stay there for a few years doing random ass shit. But eventually you've got to get back on that path. You have to keep going. And that's kind of the function of reaffirmation as far as magicians go, and getting back to your craft, because you realize that you've been in the cantina for a while. You have to continue on your journey, and you have to meet your allies. And sometimes you have to fight with your brother or your friend, you know, figuratively speaking. Sometimes you have to fight with a dragon. Sometimes you have to do all these things, but you can get so invested in those parts of the journey that you don't continue on further. And that's part of why you've got these initiatory cycles, to kind of keep you moving, because that story doesn't stop with the dragon battle. You have to reconcile with the father. You have to have the meeting with the goddess, or, you know, however you want to interpret the monomyth. It's pretty loose in some places, but the entire goal is to return with the elixir and make the world a better place. And then just when you think that normalcy has come back, the story starts again, and you get that next call to adventure, and you keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going. And so, like, the concept of initiating into the deeper mysteries is very much like that, where, you know, you continue on that first journey, but that journey ain't done. It never is. Life does not stop for you or anybody else. Time does not stop for you or anyone else. So
Can I just say the most bullshit scene in that whole fucking movie is when Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's like, this is too precise for Stormtrooper fire. But then fuckers can't hit nothing. Nothing.
They can't hit anything. They can't hit anything. Like
glaring fucking pothole of the century right there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to our show tonight. Thank you.
Also, Jawa's, I don't understand that, because Jawa's moving those big crawlers, right? And those crawlers do not move fast, y'all. They don't move fast.
They crawl.
It's a crawler. It's on treads.
It's its fucking name.
Exactly. Like, how could it not be precise unless you were literally drunk? You know,
unless you were
like you're on spice. Exactly.
It only moves like a mile a year.
Right. This is another thing. So there are so many different canons with Star Wars. Like, back in the day, one of the first tabletop games I ever played was D6 Star Wars by West End Games. And they had been given permission to create an extended universe for Star Wars back when George Lucas didn't think it was going to be a thing. So they built this huge, huge world and all this background color for it. And some of it is still canon and some of it isn't. One of the things about Jawas, and I'm going to rant about this for a second. Things about Jawas in the original canon was that any Jawa that you see is female. They keep the males hidden in the crawlers because they're valuable. They keep them in harems. They keep them in harems, and the women do the fighting. And the women drive the crawlers, and they go out and they make deals and they trade for shits. The only Jawas you see are female. And that's not true now, but it used to be. And I like that.
Man, I wish that would have been canon. That would have been
all
cool.
I wanted in that fucking tabletop game was to play a Jawa Jedi. A Jawa Jedi. It turns out my wife, who also played West End Star Wars, she had an Ewok that was a Jedi, and they refused to give her a lightsaber. So she just, throughout the course of this like multi-year campaign, she would use like this Ewok would use different things as lightsabers. She started off with a fucking spear, like didn't speak any common, which is the language that they all speak for some weird reason, and would just slowly jack up this spear until it was the equivalent of a lightsaber, despite that they refused to give her one.
That's hilarious.
I wish I could have seen that campaign. That sounds hysterical. But yeah, it speaks a lot to how close she and I are in terms of personality, that I wanted a Jawa and she had an Ewok Jedi.
Should get like a little jewelry, like complimentary jewelry with little charms.
God, I try really hard not to wear fandom stuff if I can avoid it, but that would be one thing I might do. Yeah. Like, I do have some fandom. I have a Letterkenny shirt that says allegedly and has an ostrich on it. I have a few things.
One of my favorite Letterkenny shirts that I've seen is the one where it's got the dog and it says hard no.
Yes. Really, I want there to be an advertisement for Tannis. I love Tannis. Big Tannis energy. But like, just an advertisement for Tannis. It's just like, I can't even remember what the fuck. Of course, I'm going to choke when I'm trying to think of some of the best shit she said. But
I'm also going to say this.
Yeah,
it's 2021. Being a slut is fucking in. Being a sexually empowered woman is in. Own that shit. Be your own Tanis. Be your own slut. Fuck whoever you want consensually. Have a good time. Good night.
My God.
It's so weird. I was watching Letterkenny the other night, and my favorite episode of Letterkenny is called Les Hicks. And it's when the boys and Katie go fishing in Quebec. And they're on the shore of this lake ice fishing, and there's these four folks from Quebec who are sitting there fishing, and they mimic, and they look exactly the same. They talk exactly the same. They have the same roles. Like, you can see the Wayne, you can see the Quebec equivalent of Katie, you can see the Quebec equivalent of Squirrely Dan and Derry, and they get into this huge ass fight. It is so funny. Oh my God. And I don't speak Quebecois well enough to pick up all of the things that they're saying. I have to rely on the subtitles for a lot of it because, damn, but it's hysterical. Yeah. I not Quebecois. I don't. The French, the equivalent of French that I know is Cajun. And if you took someone from mainland France and then fed them one Valium, you end up with Quebecois. If you feed them 3, you end up with Cajun French. So, like, mainland French, if you're saying yes, you're saying oui. If you are Quebecois, or if you're speaking Quebecois, it's wa. And if you're Cajun, it's It's just more. Yes. Okay, so I had a Latin professor in college who explained to me that the Romance languages are the result of people moving away from Rome and getting lazy. And it makes sense. It fucking makes sense. This is how languages develop, y'all. You speak the mother tongue. You speak the language as your father and mother spoke it. You move away a little bit and your pronunciation starts to get weird. You start saying things like ain't, despite the fact having heard ain't a word. And then,
oh shit, or how I go, holy,
yes,
nobody in my family having fucking said it because I've heard other people out here, and it just, my brain was like, you're gonna fucking say that, and I'm like, ah.
We are geared to assimilate the words that we hear on a daily basis. That's just part of who we are as humans. So you do that, and then you get away from people who regulate your pronunciation. So your pronunciation gets a little weird, and then over generations and generations, becomes it's nuts. It's fucking nuts. But this is how languages develop. She
water
explained
becomes
that this
water.
Water. There we go. I come from the water. Yeah, this is
You know, that's what's also interesting about a lot of indigenous languages. They don't seem to change like that. Like, from what I know, Nipi has just been like the word for water for a hot fucking minute. I don't know any actually, I can give a little small example of this that's kind of cool. In Canada, there's like hybrid native dialects, because like I've talked about this with other people. For example, I know somebody who's like Mi'kmaq who would say like my kukum, even though kukum is a Cree word, because she doesn't speak Mi'kmaq, right? And even just saying my kukum is incorrect, because kukum in Cree, your prefix denotes the relationship towards you. So kukum is somebody else's grandmother, a grandmother that's not yours. So if I were to speak about your grandmother, I'd say kukum, right? If I'm talking about my grandmother, it's nukum, right? So that's like a Cree word, but people say that who aren't even Cree. It's just like a word for grandma now at this point. And a really good example of this is Nietzsche, which technically means friend in Ojibwe, but people call each other Nietzsche all the time. And even if they don't know each other, they're calling each other Nietzsche, and they're not friends, right? Because it's used nowadays as a kinship term for people who identify other people as being native. They'll be like, oh yeah, he's a Nietzsche, he's cool, right?
So it almost sounds like maybe there's this sort of this evolution of like a neo-native language sort of starting to form.
I mean, but that's just like language in the modern era, right? It didn't seem to do that prior to English, but now that we're here, and it's not like Nehiyaweban is one of the legal languages to speak in Canada, which is fucking absurd. That it's just French and English. Don't even get me started about that. But like, Yeah, so people don't speak it in the same regard that people would say speak French in France, right? Because that's just where everyone's speaking and that allows it to freely develop and change, right? Because a lot of communities are still, trying to make sure they don't have any more of their culture taken, they don't lose any more. And I don't act like culture is just magically vanishing anymore. Like the government's still trying to quash it, obviously, but it's not like just vanishing like they want to portray it as.
Well, I mean,
but
nowadays it's not going to finish because you're going to get your churches burned down.
And nowadays, like there's so much resurgence to the point where people can start developing new things, right? We don't have to just keep relying on things that have been done. And there's a huge indigenous media movement. This should almost be called the media episode, for fuck's sakes.
Damn.
But like there's a huge indigenous media movement where you got a bunch of really good artists like Snot Nose Rez Kids, Tanya Tagak, Nahiabawin, actually, that might be the wrong one. I think they're Nahea. Yeah, they're Nahea, not Nahiawawen. There's a bunch others, but I only can remember so many at a time. Dreezus. But yeah, like, Superman. But anyways, like, there's a whole culture movement around, like, modern music and, like, stuff that's not necessarily considered traditional, And there's, like, stories being told and whole fucking media companies around it. So, like, even if traditionally language didn't morph a whole bunch and it was very consistent, it certainly seems to now.
Well, I mean, think about it. We have the ability to communicate real time in a way that no humans have ever had before us. We have access to information. We have access to each other in a way that we have never fucking had in the history of humanity. You have more information at your disposal just by opening a fucking Chrome window if you have the RAM to spare. Just by, opening up Chrome window, and that nobody else in the history of humanity has ever fucking had. You have the ability to talk real time with people thousands and thousands of miles away from you. You have the ability to cultivate new words and develop old words and give them new meaning. And so the concept of like linguistic distance, which is what we've been kind of talking about, the idea that, one language or dialect is going to slowly separate from another and become its own thing, and historical linguistics is another thing. And we live in this weird ass escalation point right now where we're developing, like, you hear about, everybody likes to shit on boomers, right? Well, they don't understand what those Gen Z kids are saying. They don't understand what those Gen Z kids are saying. It's because they don't communicate real time like we do a lot of the time. Or, even millennials. I'm like the oldest millennial on the planet. I don't even know if I am. But like for even me, like hanging out in Domus and seeing these Gen Z kids throwing around their lingo, I'm like, what does brr mean? I don't get it. It's because language is evolving more quickly now because we have the ability to communicate real time with literally everybody that has a smartphone. And
wait,
I don't know many
as in like BRRRT?
Brr, yeah.
What that means?
Or is it like the
oh god, are we
all old? No, I'm not that old.
I'm definitely old. I'm very much out of the loop. I don't even really look at TikTok and stuff like that.
I'm 32, but I can keep up to shit. Okay, the burr thing is like a reference to a meme. It's like the guy who's the incel tears. That's like, no, you can't just, and then fill in the blank, and then it's haha. Incel tears go brrr or whatever. Right?
It's one of the Wojak memes. Yeah, I get that. that. I try to keep up on as best I can, but like.
If it's like with a T, could be implying someone like giving you a ring on the phone.
Yeah, because it's onomatopoeia. Yeah, I get that. But yeah, like we talk about how boomers are getting left behind, and really what it is, they're getting left behind with language a lot of the time. Like I could say yeet to my grandmother, and she'll get it through context, but she won't understand what I'm saying at first.
Right.
And yeet's one of my current. Yeet is one of my current modern favorite words. Like it's a modern word. It's been
also kind of like that one.
Yeet and then yote. Like I've actually worked out the fucking tenses for fucking yeet because
so yote it be.
Yeah.
And so she yoted into the sun.
Speaking of
yeeted just doesn't make as much sense. Yoted just really slaps.
Yote, a past tense yeet.
Oh my god.
Speaking of which,
we need something to follow that up with and have it be like, and this is how you learn modern internet culture.
Jesus Christ. No, so this is just an aside. I'm playing Ark Survival Unleashed right now, right?
Oh my God.
I've never played it before. My wife set up a server. We've been playing it, and I just got a crab, like the Carquinos, and I found out you can throw it. You can use it to throw, or you can use it to throw things. You can grab things in your claws and throw them. And I had been struggling to figure out what to name this stupid murder crab. I named it Yeetus Deletus because I can grab a Carno and just yeet it into the sun. It's like yeet, fuck you.
Okay, so can you get a friend and name it the Bacon Kraken?
The Bacon Kraken. When my wife names one, I will see about naming it the Bacon Kraken. I figured out how to reskin colors on dinos using the admin sheets. So, like,
oh my God,
like, I don't have time to
fucking hilarious.
This is great. Like, and let's see what else I've got an entire horde of Tech Rexes, and I gave them all 80s band names. So I've got like Dead or Alive and Devo and shit like that. The one I ride is named Jeff Goldblum, and Jeff Goldblum, she's amazing, y'all. I love Jeff Goldblum. But yeah, this game is nuts. Anyway, that's just a little random aside, but I reminds.
Like, go ahead.
No, I love the way that language has kind of shifted over the last 20 or 30 years as a result of the fucking internet. Like, I remember before the internet, because I'm that old, like back in the day, the internet, like the internet used to be that you would take your hardline phone off of its cradle and stick it into the modem and then listen to 1,000 robots die to dial into a single computer to play on an internet BBS. That was high tech when I was a young teenager.
It really sounds like robots doing anal for the first time.
It does. It sounds like surprise anal between robots. It really does.
Maybe not surprise anal, but like first time anal, and they don't know how much it's gonna hurt because they haven't prepped and prepared, and they haven't
they didn't use enough lube.
Yeah, and they brought a tear open packet of lube instead of like a fucking bottle. Oh, amateurs. Okay.
I just say they need that big ass pump bottle on the side of the bed.
Learn it from a slut.
Exactly.
You don't even need a pump bottle, although economy size does save you money. It is lube. You will fucking go through it. It doesn't spoil. Buy it in a bigger bottle. Thank me later.
Mm-hmm.
Buy some fucking lube. If you're anybody who's never wait, I should preclude.
Should I look into lube companies? See if they want to sponsor us?
Okay. If you buy
I see you and you're valid. I'm not going to say this to any of y'all, but this is for us horny bitches. Buy yourself some fuck water, girl. Friends.
And if you're going to buy a gigantic economy-sized bottle of lube, do not buy flavored, because halfway through that bottle, you will be tired of whipped cream or whatever the fuck you bought. You will be fucking tired of it. Buy a small bottle.
Fucking listen to me. Don't ever buy minty. Never minty.
Ooh.
You stay the fuck away from mint or tingling or heated, any of that shit. You don't put that anywhere near you because you are gonna fucking hate it. I promise you.
If you're gonna
put it on your butthole, then it can be a little fierce. But I prefer toothpaste if I'm gonna do that.
Don't. Oh my God, no!
Just being funny.
You get a hole fucked in you. Damn. No, like if you're
I'm just being salty.
Take it from the oldest whore in the room, okay? If you're going to use peppermint oil for anything, and it does have its uses, don't mix it with your lube. Use it as a per need basis. Keep that little bitty bottle in the fucking nightstand. Don't mix it with your lube, dude. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just keep it for special occasions and when you want to be spicy. Don't mix your whole ass bottle with it. Don't do it. Learn from my mistakes.
If you're gonna put toothpaste on your butthole,
don't
water
put toothpaste on your butthole. It has abrasives in it. It has abrasives in it. You're making micro tears in your asshole.
Okay, hold on. An abrasive needs agitation to actually take effect. Otherwise, the chafing walking down the street gives your cheeks worse fucking abrasion than just putting toothpaste on your butt. It's not like you're just rubbing it in there and washing it, right?
Well, I mean, like toothpaste has stuff in it that's designed to scrape plaque off your teeth, girl. Scrape plaque off your teeth with mechanical action. What is fucking if not mechanical action? Don't use toothpaste. Just get some spearmint oil.
I was just talking for getting a tingly butthole, not for fucking. Holy shit, I wasn't even talking about inserting.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank fuck. I had the worst image in my head ever.
No, I was talking like just a little dab on, like, you know, just if you wanted to experiment with it to see how fucking awful it is, you could learn.
Oh God. Oh, since we're talking about old whore tricks, if you're gonna shave your junk, y'all. If you're gonna shave your junk, and I've seen this happen so many times, just get waxed, y'all. But if you're gonna shave to like clean yourself up a little bit, don't use soap to do it. Use conditioner, really good conditioner, or if you can afford it, go and find a bottle of a product called Coochie. 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 It's good shit. It is the slickest, softest shaving lotion I have ever used in my life. I can use it on my entire ass body. You can use it as conditioner for your hair. Wow. It is the best shit, and it comes in nice, clean smells. I get green tea. It's pretty awesome. But it's the best shaving lotion for your junk I've ever had. And when I'm too lazy to go out and get waxed again, I will shave using it. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Fuck.
You will not get any razor burn. You won't get fucking nothing.
Who the fuck shaves with hand soap? Okay. If this is you, this is a call out. You should have at least looked at that conditioner bottle before. And if you don't have conditioner, what are you doing with your life? Go get some conditioner.
Buy some fucking conditioner
right now. And not the 2-in-1. That 2-in-1 is the same as just shampoo. Don't fucking use it. You get yourself a bottle of shampoo and you get yourself a bottle of conditioner. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And no, not that dollar store stuff. No. No. You get yourself something better. Okay. You spend at least $5 on it. Thank you.
Right? Exactly. Like, don't buy Suave. But like, if you're, okay, think about it. It's like, and the thing is, so like, God, growing up in the 80s, we used to get told the reason you have acne is because of the oil on your skin. And so what that created a generation of assholes like me who would scrape their skin clean every day. Mm-hmm. Just scrape it clean. Use fucking salicylic acid on your face because you're praying that something will fucking help your acne. And all these companies made a lot of money on the fact that you weren't going to put toner on your skin or recondition your skin after you scraped all the natural oil that your skin evolved to fucking produce off. So, of course, your acne gets fucking worse. And, of course, everybody's like, it's because you don't wash your filthy fucking face. It's like, no, that's not it. That's not it. It's hormones. It's what you eat. It's a lot of fucking shit. It's the microflora living on your skin that fucking Clearasil told you to scrape the fuck off. And your hair is the same way. Like, your scalp is covered in these pores that produce sebum. And they produce these, it's a lipid layer. It's fats that your body is slowly, oozing out of you to try and keep you nice and smooth and conditioned and keep your skin healthy and soft. And when you use a solvent like a soap or a shampoo on your hair, you're stripping all that oil off of it. So you got to put something back on there or your hair is just going to be fucking cotton candy. That's why you need shampoo, or that's why you need conditioner, y'all, because you're stripping off all that oil and you're putting different oil on it. So
like real talk here. Some people don't even need to use shampoo. Okay.
No, they don't. There's an entire movement that doesn't use it.
Me, because you know what happens when I do shampoo? Even with my natural hair, not even like bleached or colored, like I do shampoo and I'm fucked. It like turns into a big like stuck together knot. I don't have oily hair for shit. My hair is so dry. I buy oil to fucking put on it
you got that
frizz out.
Beautiful native hair, whereas the rest of us,
hair
nasty ass cobweb hair. My hair is so fine.
My hair is fine too, but it's like curly.
Like, so I washed my hair this morning. And it's been, let's see, I say this morning. I wake up at 1:00 because I work third shift. So I washed my hair at about 2:00 in the afternoon. It is now 8:30, and I look homeless. Y'all, my hair is so greasy.
You've never seen my hair out of braids, have you?
No, I haven't. No, I have. I've seen you post on the runway before.
Okay, briefly, yeah. Like, it is curly as...
You have gorgeous hair. Like, you've got these beautiful, like, majestic fucking waves. My hair hangs like a dead cat. It does. It does. It hangs like a dead cat. And now that I'm turning gray, it's even worse because the gray is thicker. And the gray will always be thicker. When you get gray hair, it's going to get real wiry and real heavy and thicker than your normal hair. So I'm dishwater blonde when I haven't bleached and dyed in a long time. Dishwater blonde with a little bit of red in it, and just these big, thick gray, like, just hanging out, standing out like a fucking wire. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I have shit hair, y'all.
Like, I
love while we're on the topic of hair.
Yeah.
Here's some spicy shit. Your girl Sophia's thinking about going fucking blonde.
Do it.
Didn't think it was gonna happen, but I bought a blonde wig for a cosplay that looked really nice, and I didn't expect how good it was gonna look on me. And everyone's been like, "No, you look like a movie star when you're blonde. You fucking need to be doing that." And my other friend was like, "A literal goddess has entered the chat. Oh my god!"
Okay,
and I'm
so
like,
if you're gonna go blonde, there are some things you need to know. I've seen your pictures. You look best with a cool tone blonde, not a warm tone blonde.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna need a product called bluing.
Yeah, I've already looked up with it. There's several different products that add purple to your hair or blue so that it counters the brassy and copper tones.
The trick is don't use too much of it. Like my grandmother has shock white hair. She got shock white after her second birth. All of her hair, like my younger uncle, after her second birth, her hair went shock white because, of course, giving birth and raising a baby to term eats all the B vitamin out of you. So in the absence of B vitamin, your hair does tend to turn white or gray. She just got shock white. And she has over the years dug around for different bluing products and products to clean up her hair because, we're fucking swamp people. Like we go lake swimming and she water skied up until a couple of years ago. Straight up fucking water skied, sometimes barefoot. So lake water is going to make your nice white hair turn, kind of greenish, kind of yellowish. And she went through all the different brands for it. And the craziest thing, so in some of the kind of the hoodoo shit that we do, one of the things that features, and let me actually get a link for it. Give me just a sec. Y'all keep talking. I'll come back to this.
Well, I'll post a hot picture of me on our Instagram in that blonde wig just to support it. I'll send it to Jay and he can put it up with the episode when it goes out.
Here it is. Okay. So one of the things that we picked up, and I don't know when it got picked up in my family. It's been a thing for years. Like if you're trying to get rid of the evil eye, if you're trying to get rid of somebody who's hated you, you use something called a blue cube or a blue ball. They come in cubes, so we've always called them cubes. It's called Reckitt's Crown Blue. And Reckitt's Crown Blue was originally used like bleach, before bleach was really accessible. You put laundry bluing in your nice white sheets to make them crispy and white. Well, if it cleanses, I think that this is the logic. If it cleanses all the impurities out of your nice white sheets and your white linens, it can cleanse the taint of someone's dark work on you. So you mix a little bit of it in your bath water and you bathe in it. Well, what she found was that shit works best for her hair than anything else.
Wow.
Like she'd come out fucking shiny. Reckitt's Crown Blue. It's actually really good shit for laundry bluing. I don't think I'd put it on my skin, but there are millions of people fucking swear by it. So here's some weird ass little.
Please do me a favor and put that for everybody in the show notes. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want me to post an Etsy link or an Amazon link? Because I don't want to fund the Bezos. Okay. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, just both.
Okay.
We'll let people decide.
Yeah, 12 cubes for $35. That's fucking robbery. All right, let me get the link to the product. Reckitt's Blue Laundry.
I can crumble a cube in half.
Just crumble like the little bitty bit, not like half, like an eighth. Reckitt's Blue Laundry.
Yeah, like I've actually bleached my hair before, so it was kind of weird that like when I was talking about doing it this time, a lot of people jumped up with like, you know what bleaching's gonna do to your hair, right? And it's like, y'all know I've been doing like purple fucking hair for the past 2 years, right? I just grew it out for 1 year to take a break to let it get healthy. And I was thinking about trying to see how far it would grow, but like my hair is so thin, it won't get past my titties. Like I'm serious. Like granted, like it's none of the brown hair has gotten down that far, but it's so thin it frays naturally anyways. Like if you look at my braid the whole way up, it splits just parting off their ways, right? And it's really hard to keep a clean braid on me because my hair is just not that thin. It's gonna break in half before it'll pull out at the root, right? It just fucking will. It's totally fine to dye. It's weird. It almost doesn't even fuck with my hair to bleach it. It even curls naturally after I've bleached it.
Bleaching, and this is just like take old punk advice, because I used to do this in my fucking bathroom by myself and still do. If you're gonna bleach your hair, don't use the bleach box that comes with your dye, ever. That shit's terrible. Mm-hmm. What you do is you go and you buy a good high quality bleach kit from just a gas station, not a gas station, like a drugstore. Like I usually use Wh0r3 Platinum Blonde, like the big bright cool tone blonde. Get 2 boxes of it. Don't do it all at once, especially if you have darker hair. You're going to put that set on there as it's instructed. You're also going to get yourself something called a protein spray. So go to like a Sally's or wherever the fuck you go for, like whatever hairdresser store you've got in the area. Go there and get yourself some spray on protein. You put that on your hair before you bleach it. Bleach your hair. Then you use the conditioner that comes with the bleach kit, because that shit's formulated for that specific stuff. Put as much of that shit on as you can. Let it sit on for extra time. Condition your hair. Don't blow dry your hair. Just condition it. Let it air dry. If it's not light enough after you did that per the box instructions, that's when you got that second box. If you don't need that second box, stick it in your pantry and use it next time. Bleach it up to the color you want. Make sure to condition it every time. Don't heat treat it. And then once you get to the color you want to bleach, once you get to the bleach tone that you want, then you put in your dye and use that protein spray again before you do it. Put the color in. Wrap your head in plastic. Keep it wet. Don't let it dry out. That's a myth. People's like, you got to let it get crusty. That used to be how it was, but now we know more about hair science than we ever did before. So that's what I used to do. I'd make it into like it would be like a hard cap on my head. But what you need to do is put plastic saran wrap. Don't use like a grocery bag, because the print on that grocery bag will be bleached into your hair or dyed into your hair. Oh. Yeah. Be me using a Walmart bag 15 years ago. Don't fucking do that. Get plastic wrap, just plastic saran wrap and a couple of headbands.
You know, you could do a look with that, like a whole bunch of different department stores.
Yeah, that'd be fucking rad. Crazy. But you wrap your head in plastic, you put a cap over it to keep it warm and damp. With the dye in your hair, you then go and you hit it with a blow dryer every 15 or 20 minutes for as long as you can tolerate doing it. Don't sleep in it. That sucks. Do this early in the day. But keep applying heat to it every 15 or 20 minutes, and then eventually rinse it out, and then immediately condition it and do not blow dry it. Let it air dry. And then you're real careful with it for the next little while as the dye slowly gets put into the cuticle of the hair. But you got to be careful with it for the first couple of days. That will keep your dye looking good for like 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And depending on what color you want, there are certain brands that are better for certain colors. So if you want oranges or pinks or reds, you want to find a company called Special FX. Special FX is fucking rad. If you want blues, if you want greens, if you want blue tone violets. I've heard there are other companies that have better dye. I haven't experimented with them personally. For me, I go and buy Splat. A Splat looks cheap as shit. You can get it at a Walmart. You can get it at CVS or a Walgreens. Don't use the bleach in it. Throw that out. What you want is the pigment. That shit, you can't bleach that shit out of your hair once you put it in. You start bleaching it out, it's going to turn purple. You bleach it more, it turns pink. It sticks. It sticks really, really well. When I was working on the con circuit before COVID, Splat was what I used because I only had to dye my hair 3 or 4 times a year. It was fucking nuts how long that shit lasted. And it looks good as long as you keep it nice and conditioned. And the fade looks good too. Like it actually fades nicely. Unlike Manic Panic, which will make your hair look like fucking dishwater. You know, I don't like Manic Panic. Ugh.
I think I'm 100% gonna go back to the stylist I had before because she's good, and I know that she's not gonna charge me as much as it costs to say do the bleach and dye, because you're not going to do the dyeing process after the lightening process, right? If anything, she's just going to do the lightening process a little bit longer, because you don't need to go for a full super platinum blonde look. And I don't even know if I'm going for a super platinum. I was actually thinking more along the lines of like a champagne.
It'd be really pretty, especially since champagne is kind of a cool color. Your skin is really benefited by cool colors. Like you look awesome with cool blonde.
Yeah, I'm worried about how it's gonna look though with how orange I tan, but we'll see how that goes. I might really end up looking like I'm from California.
Well, I mean, maybe deliberately tan for a little while and then get a synthetic wig about the color that you want your hair to be and see how you look.
I already have one.
Oh, that's right, you do. God, it was really hard to tell that wasn't just your fucking hair, by the way. The only reason I could tell was that your eyebrows were a little darker. That's the only way I could tell. It's the only way. And if you do have her lighten your hair, have her lighten your eyebrows too, if it's safe to do it. I don't know if there's new tech for that or not. It used to be that they'd be like, "Don't get it near your eyes," but we used to do it anyway. But
I kind of don't mind having the dark eyebrows with the light hair because it is a fucking look.
Yeah, and it is. And if you lighten your eyebrows too much, it looks like you don't fucking have any, and that's worse. That's so much worse. Oh god.
And I don't want to be drawn on my eyebrows either.
No, that was a thing when I was a teenager. Kids would shave off their eyebrows and put them on with eyeliner. Do not do that.
Also, no shade at people who do that. Like, that's totally chill if that's really your shit. It's just not mine.
Yeah, I mean, and nowadays it's fucking science. But back in the early 90s, it was not. It was not. I've seen people do fucking wizardry with makeup nowadays, but in the 90s, when you're in fucking middle school and all your friends are shaving their eyebrows off and they look like aliens with their eyebrows like in the middle of their foreheads, don't do that. Do not do that. Or use Sharpie. Please don't use Sharpie. I have seen that. I have seen that way more often than I care to admit. And I am one of those idiots that tried to put my eyeliner on with Sharpie.
To segue away from makeup and fashion and back to something about like magic that doesn't alienate certain people. Like I have seen so many occultists fucking Jiffy and Sharpie fucking sigils on themselves, including myself. It is not healthy.
Yeah, you got to be careful with skin writing when you're going to do it that way. Don't use Sharpie to do it. If you're going to do it, use something that's safe for skin. Like henna dye is so cheap. So cheap.
What is Sharpie?
When I was doing LARP, I joined like some like religion or something like that, so I had to like have a tattoo of their holy symbol, and I used an eyeliner pencil.
Yeah, eyeliner is fine. It's non-toxic. It's designed for your fucking skin. You know, and you can get it off when you need to. But the reason that you don't want to use Sharpie, and that sounded like that was about what you were going to ask.
Yeah, well, like, what are the side effects of it? Because I did the fuck out of that when I was young. I'm stupid.
It's the side effects of that generally are things like nausea, but it's more about knowing about the chemical. So the chemical in Sharpie that makes it dangerous is called xylene. Xylene is usually more of a problem.
That's a cleaning agent.
Yeah, it's also in Sharpie markers, and it's an inhalant risk is really the big thing. Like breathing the fumes of a Sharpie marker is a big bad thing. Now
it's a carcinogen.
Yeah, imagine putting xylene on your fucking skin, which is designed to be porous and absorb things. Shut up, Alexa.
Xylene is fucking brake cleaner. That's how intense that shit is, y'all.
Yeah, and it used to be that we would always get, like, when you first started the school year, and you're a redneck and you're poor, you only get a couple of pairs of jeans to wear throughout the entire year, and you pray you do not outwear them. Like, at least my family was good about, like, you buy 2 pairs of jeans, 2 shirts, everything else, and one of those pairs of jeans is going to be a size larger than the other because you're going to grow. So those 2 pairs of jeans were going to see some shit, y'all. And one of the things that you would do toward the end of the school year is get all your friends together with Sharpie markers, and you would all draw on each other's jeans, and then you would wear them. And this is raw denim. This is cheap shit raw denim that somebody made in their garage. All that shit's like bleeding into your legs all the time. Anytime you sweat, it's going into your skin. Anytime your jeans get wet, anytime you run through a creek, it's bleeding out onto your skin. Don't fucking do that, y'all. Don't do that. This is why millennials are going to have cancer. This is why boomers have cancer.
Yeah, I was going to say, my dad used to wash his fucking hands in xylene after doing certain tasks.
Oh, God.
What the fuck?
And we used to use 7 Dust, like, everywhere. Like it wasn't xylene, but, like, it's just the amount of casual exposure to shit. Like, when you live on a farm and you live rural, which we did, one of the best insecticides to just make sure that you could bring in enough food to put away for the year was 7 Dust, because it was cheap. You could buy it in giant bags. And 7 Dust is, if I remember correctly, it's insecticide and diametrious earth that's mixed. The diametrious earth side is not bad. It's the insecticide that is. But like it would be dusted everywhere. If you walked barefoot in your garage, you could feel a thin film of it on the soles of your feet. You would just grab handfuls of it out of the sack and spread it around your tomatoes. That was the kind of shit that we were exposed to as kids, y'all. And it's gonna kill us. It's gonna fucking kill us. It's killing the bees. It's gonna kill us. It already is. Like somebody was people have been going at Monsanto for this because Roundup causes is starting to be believed to cause Huntington's disease or something like it. Or was it I need to look it up. I'm not citing this correctly.
That's fucked up. Also, Jay, did we have you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Jay, I'm sorry we're drowning you. I'm so sorry. It's non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. That's what it is. But Jay, I'm so sorry. We're just fucking drowning you, man.
No, it's okay. It's honestly fine. I enjoy see, the thing is like I have to be on every episode. So like sometimes I enjoy taking a back seat. So
I get you.
Because you know what I mean, I have to be in every episode. Like you guys don't have to be in every episode because I can kind of change who, you know, is I guess on the cast for that episode.
You can tap other people.
Yes, I've also been really low energy. I've been really preoccupied. It's Pagan Pride season, so a lot of my energy right now is being devoted to that, and it's on September 4th, so we're in like the home stretch kind of it. And of course, yes, and it's just and now with Delta ramping up, it's kind of, you know, making everyone super nervous, and so we're just trying to, I guess, make everyone happy, which is, of course, impossible to do. But
yeah,
you know, we're trying to
not doable.
We're trying to just be fucking reasonable about it. You know what I mean? So, like, as of right now, like Philly doesn't have a mask mandate for outdoor things. Basically, when I wrote up our COVID guidelines, I wrote them to be like as openly interpreted as possible, just because I didn't know what was going to happen, because I had to write them months in advance. And basically it was like, we will comply with any, you know, mandates that are in place, and you know, we encourage our vendors to have barriers. We encourage our vendors to have, you know, hand sanitizer, because that's just like stuff that we don't have the resources to provide for every single vendor, you know? So it's just it's hard keeping everyone happy, especially
coming out of COVID
with all the pressures.
I mean, yeah, we're looking at potentially another surge, and you know, you're hearing about Epsilon strain in California and in India. You're hearing about
what the fuck is Epsilon strain?
It's another strain.
Yeah.
Like after
it's a strain
Delta.
that was first found in California, and now it's been spotted in India and a couple of other places, and it's worse than Delta. So, man, we live in fucking 2021 bizarro hell world.
Why did we skip a Bravo? Because it should be Alpha, Bravo, Delta, Echo.
I think Alpha and Bravo strains are already well known. Those might be what we know as COVID-19.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. You'd have to ask an epidemiologist. I don't know.
Yeah, that's above my pay grade there, that kind of question.
Same here. But yeah, it's fucking complicated. It's hard to know what's going to happen. Of course, and we've got so much anti-mask push right now that it's just, there are going to be more mutations than just Delta and Epsilon. There's just going to be more and more. Because people are like, oh, fuck you, my freedoms. You're taking away my humanity with this mask. Like, these are some of the same people who say that they would die for their family. They would protect their family against anything, but they refuse to wear a fucking cloth over their face. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I don't know any science. I do everything that Fox News told me. Sorry.
I we segued back to the whole circle. We're back on conspiracy theories.
We have come full circle. Yes.
Notice how every mention of conspiracy theories always leads back to Fox News somehow.
Fuck, man. Fuck Fox News. Fuck Tucker Carlson. Fuck every single anchor on that fucking network. Fuck Breitbart. Yeah. Fuck PragerU. Fuck what's his name? He's so lame. He's so lame, I forget his name. Jordan Peterson. Fuck that guy.
Fuck Alex Jones and fuck InfoWars.
And fuck, what's his name? Joe Rogan.
Jesus Christ. God. Joe Rogan is just fucking... Okay, this is a hot take, y'all. Joe Rogan is just Alex Jones for millennials. That's There's functionally no fucking difference.
What is his
He's
deal?
Alex Jones who doesn't smoke meth, is what I think.
So they're good friends, the two of them. They're good friends. They know each other, and they both have the same fucking format. They're just marketing to different demographics and different generations.
But also, clearly, Jones does meth. Like, look at the man's demeanor.
Oh, he doesn't do meth. He probably just tweaks out on Adderall real hard.
Or a lot of fucking cocaine.
Mm-hmm. He is a boomer. It's probably coke.
Yeah, boomers do love their coke.
And he's in Austin, so like he can get it. Oh yeah, he was charged with DUI. He was charged with a DWI last year, by the way.
Damn.
Good. Fuck that guy. Well, maybe not good that he was driving, but good that he got charged.
Exactly. He bitched about his arrest on his breath in his show too. Like it was fucking ridiculous. And I used to live in Austin. He lives in Austin, and so you'd sometimes see his billboards up everywhere. But he was just everybody fucking hates him. In Austin, everybody fucking hates Alex Jones. We hate seeing him. Like, I don't remember where my wife and I were, but he came in. And he had a handy cam.
Ugh.
And he was just wandering around harassing fucking Austinites about whatever the fuck he was on that day. He's just the most obnoxious person. He's just so shitty. And when he went through his custody hearing for his kids, because he and his wife were fighting over the kids, it was nuts because, you know, she was citing, hey, look, he's this crazy ass fucking super, like this sort of hyper conspiracy theorist talking head. How is that good for a kid? Because he was involving his kids in his show and shit. Like he was sending them out to do interviews and things.
Wow, that's awful.
He had to actually say to the judge, well, it's just an act, Your Honor. It's just something that I do for ratings. And then within, I think it was like 12 hours, his fans lost their shit. And he had to be like, it isn't an act, Your Honor. This is really who I am. This is really what I believe. Turning the frogs gay. It was fucking ridiculous. This man is just
what?
He is clown shoes. He's a fucking trash fire.
He doesn't even know what he wants.
He knows what he wants. He wants fucking money. He wants money for his dick pills that he sells on his show.
Is that what he sells?
Dick pills, hair loss shit, boomer shit. The same shit you see everybody
Rogaine.
Fucking, it's nuts. It's fucking nuts.
I will
Although,
say,
like, no shade against Rogaine, because I was gonna be like, I'm about to buy some of that shit for myself.
Yeah.
Male pattern hair lofts.
That's something my wife's fighting with right now because she lost a lot of the hair on the top of her head before she transitioned. So we're working on trying to figure out how to handle that.
Yeah, I know there's surgeries for it.
We're looking at something called the
Bosley.
Barber Surgeon. We're looking at the Barber Surgeons Guild right now, which looks amazing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
if you find something out, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course,
I would like to take a lot of hair off my ass and put it in my forehead. Thank you.
They usually take it from the back of your head, but it takes multiple years for it to develop. But like, I've got some thyroid issues right now that are causing my hair to get thin, and that tends to happen in my family. I'm not going to go bald on top, but I'm getting a little thin, y'all. I can't see my scalp yet, but I will be in a few years. So like, I'm looking at it for myself too, but obviously we want to take care of her first. You know, get that handled because this is the year she's starting her transition. I want her to feel confident. And she has gorgeous hair. She has this gorgeous, silky, near black hair that hangs in ringlets when it's wet. It is the most beautiful thing. And when we first moved in together, that was the first thing she did when she wasn't living in her parents' house anymore, was quit cutting her hair. Because, her dad forced her to keep it cut real short. And so she had this long head of hair. It hung halfway down her back. And it was gorgeous. I still have her hair from before we lopped it off. But she started to get thin enough. She was like, this looks weird. I'm going to cut it. So she did. And I still have that big long length of her hair. I love it. I'm one of those weirdos. I'm not going to eat it and be like, you're inside of me forever. But I do keep it in the bottom of my jewelry box because it's beautiful.
You are very sentimental and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, having a lock of someone's hair has been considered such an intimate thing.
It is, like, and I collect pawns from pawns. When I say pawns, I mean PAUN, like an object of power from a person, a contagious link back to them via sympathy. And like, if I ever needed to help that person,
like a direct line.
Yes, exactly. You cannot get better than that. Like a sample of blood, a sample of hair, a sample of fingernails, something dear and precious to them that they gave you, that they wore on their bodies or kept close to them for a long time. Somebody gives you their favorite stuffed animal. that they loved as a kid. That's a direct tie back to that person. And not only on the spiritual level, but like on the physical level, that toy has been hugged, it's been cried into, it's been slept with, it's covered in them. And if you need to get to somebody and help them out of a situation, and you don't have a good grasp of how to create a link back to them, or you just, and really for me, it's not that I need it, it's that it's useful, because the less time I'm spending trying to reach out and create a connection between myself and the person I'm helping, the more energy I can put into what I'm doing. So having those layers is advantageous, because it's, I mean, I could just go balls out Magacitus and be like, I don't need any of that, because, you know, everybody knows you don't. But for my head, for the sake of my head, having something tangible in my hand to work with means that I don't have to worry so much about reaching out. I've got the link to them right there. It's a cord directly to them. So having that is useful. So like I have pawns to both of my grandmothers and my grandfather. I have pawns to my mother and my brother, my niece. You know, if I see an opportunity to get one, I get it, you know, and I save it, and you make sure label it so that you know whose is whose. But like, I don't have to worry about creating an interface between I and my subject. I can just worry about what I'm throwing down range, you know, and that's a good thing to have. And not just for positive work, it's good for negative work too.
Yeah, so, I was thinking, you know, I would love to have, you know, one day kind of like an organized collection of, you know, different things like that from people that I care about, and, you know, ideally people that I want to keep an eye on. So
yeah, like with my grandmothers, I generally will go with them to medical testing and things like that, like their usual day-to-day stuff. Like when I go visit my family, I don't want it to be a special occasion. I just want to help them do shit. So if I go to my grandmother's house, I'm fixing their computer or their phones, I'm unfucking their TV, I'm programming their VCRs or whatever. I'm going with them to medical appointments, and sometimes they give blood. So, you know, they pull the Band-Aid off about half the day later, and I'm like, here, I'll throw it away and throw it in my pocket. I have blood from my grandmother's. And it sounds creepy, but like, yes, I could just rely on genetics, because I have the mtDNA of both of them. You know, I have my X chromosomes come from both of them. I could just use my own DNA for that, but it feels more dilute than having something that is directly from their bodies at that moment, that doesn't depend on my body. You know, it unmuddies the waters for me. So like, every magician has their shtick. They have their things that they do. For me, it's sympathy. And sympathy is one of the oldest forms of magic that we know of and have like documentation of. And because it's one of the oldest forms of magic, it's one of the most best known. So why not use that? Magic is not subject to the technology obsolescence that we're used to. This isn't an astrolabe. This is just, you know,
it just
this isn't using a sundial instead of an atomic clock. It's still an atomic clock. It's just, you're recognizing that old doesn't mean useless. But yeah, it's fucking nuts.
For sure.
You know who I'd kill to have a fucking material link to? Alex Jones. Alex fucking Jones.
That would be cool.
Tell me what you would do if you did.
Nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. Honestly, like, and whenever I talk about that, really in practical terms, what I would probably do if I had a link to Alex Jones, it would be a case of hitting his sympathy and hitting his conscience, because he does have one. Every human being,
it's there
with a choice few exceptions, has a conscience. This man managed to have a fucking family and kids. He's raised kids. So instead of like hitting him hard and just like laying hate on him, the best way to handle that is not something straightforward, like just like dropping a rod from God on top of him. It's playing into his conscience and being like, is what I'm doing hurting people? And am I still at this age okay with doing that? Am I okay with exploiting people who are desperate and scared and confused and feeding into that fear? Am I really okay with that? Is that who I want to fucking be? And maybe he'll say yes. And that's when you drop the rod from God. But like, negative work like that is never just one and done. It's a slow moving campaign of work if you want to do it thoroughly. So you hit them from multiple angles at a time. So like, if somebody's doing something you don't like, try to find reasons why they might stop. because that's going with the flow of the river instead of walking against it. It's the same adage that I use a lot. It's easier to make someone fall in front of a bus than it is to drop a bus from space onto them. So if you can get them to think it's their idea and play into their conscience and be like, is this really what I want to be doing? And have them wake up one morning with that aha moment and wake up with a soul again and think, God, I could be doing so much. And I'm just here doing this shitty thing I'm doing. Try that first. Sometimes you get lucky. And sometimes you layer that on with a bunch of other things. Sometimes that takes a while to work. They get that niggling suspicion, but it's easier to go back to your normal day-to-day life than it is to make changes. So you could have made that change already and put the bug in that person's ear, but it needs time to kind of ripen and put down some roots. So that's when you start structure hits to get them to a place of instability where they think, well, maybe this isn't the right path for me. You bring them back to that thing, that spark you put into their eyes right there. You get them back to that point where they're like, maybe this is a sign. Maybe this is shit I shouldn't be doing. And you slowly add more pressure from there. So like when I'm doing negative work, it's never just one act. It's many acts over a lengthy period of time, especially for someone that I've got a lot of anger for. So that's how I'd hit Alex Jones. Folks can do it. I'd try to get him off the air of his own fiat. And then failing that, I would try to hit the people that determine whether or not he stays on the air.
Fucking right.
Multiple angles. No war is one front. Many
and
fronts.
This has been Cursing with Fish.
We need to do an episode at some point. I will.
Well.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. I will lay that out.
Absolutely.
Picante.
Yo.
But for now, I think we need to wrap up this current episode.
Conspiracy theories, hair dye, bleaches, bimbo culture. We love
Actually,
all of it.
I was kind of thinking.
It's just the ADHD.
I was thinking of a title. The fuck was it? Conspiracy theories and old whore tricks. When you said old whore tricks, it just killed me. I was like, wow, what a great name for the fucking episode.
Whore tricks.
It's just all encompassing,
Yeah.
Way to also completely just like remove us from the algorithms in a single title. I love it.
Yep.
Right. Demonetization, the episode. Yeah.
Oh, we've been demonetized.
That's fine.
From the
we have only had YouTube yell at us once, believe it or
not. Drug
not.
episode.
Because on the podcast, in terms on like the audio only format, we can really say whatever. I hit that NSFW explicit on every single one because I know we always say something, so people know what they're getting into, when they click it. So,
God, I just realized I haven't said cunt once this episode. There I have. There we go.
There it is.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I think you did say it earlier, if I recall.
Oh God. Okay.
Well, there's your second one.
I have to say it once an episode for my own amusement.
That'll be your signature sign off and cunt.
Sorry, you were saying, Jay.
I forget, what was I saying? Damn. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, YouTube. YouTube has only yelled at us once. I actually don't monetize on YouTube because it's not even worth it, honestly.
It's not worth it, no.
And I want people to find us, so...
YouTube isn't even a real platform. Not anymore.
It's just... YouTube is just a dumping ground. I just put it up there, and whoever finds it, kind of thing. We have, almost 200 and some... No, we have over 200 subscribers on YouTube, actually.
Fuck yeah. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
We love you.
So, YouTube people, we do love you. I have to fix a couple videos on there. I haven't forgotten. I'm just busy.
Sorry for shit-talking your favorite platform.
Yeah, sorry, but it sucks, and I think
YouTube is nobody's favorite platform.
But you use it for a reason. So, yeah, it was actually the drugs episode when we talked about, it was called Drugs Aren't All Bad, okay? And that was the name of the episode.
Right. That was before I came on. Man.
And it was the link that we put to Arrowwood, actually.
Oh, God.
That's what flagged it. That's what what pissed off the machine gods. Yeah, and it was like, you can't link to places that like sell drug paraphernalia and stuff like that. And I was like, well,
it's not like they sell drugs.
Right, that's what I was saying. I was like, well, they don't do that. And I was like, well, let me see. It was like, if you want to dispute this, type your reason why. So I did, and I was like, well, Arrowwood is just an informational site. They just, explain about different hallucinogens, drugs, things like that, etc. They don't sell anything. They don't sell any products. And they actually removed the strike.
Holy fuck!
Oh, that's cool.
We actually won. Right?
It's hard to get those removed. You actually got a human that day.
I guess so. And they actually removed it.
Did some magic.
It took some time. Like I was like, well, yeah, let's just throw this into the ether and see what fucking happens.
Right.
But yeah, it actually got resolved. I was pleasantly surprised.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But yeah, all the YouTube people definitely know, like, if the channel ever does get, enough strikes, it'll get taken down. I'll just make another one somehow and
find us on whatever feed site is your preference that we're on. I think we're on so many at this point.
So. Anytime that one pops up and it's like, hey, you can add your podcast to this, I usually go through the process and
it's real easy.
Get it going. Yeah, it's super easy, especially because especially like paying for Buzzsprout is super 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 helpful, because initially I thought I could run this podcast just off of like SoundCloud, and that turned out to be not the way to do it. But yeah, having Buzzsprout, which just already pushes your feed out, to several different platforms, is worth it's like $12 or something like that a month. It's worth it. It's just absolutely worth it. So but yeah, so every time a new one pops up, I always add us there so we can keep infiltrating.
Hell yeah. We will slowly worm our way into the ears of a culture.
Yes.
And eventually we'll be on TikTok when one of us decides to actually get their video editing composition shit together. So
I need some help figuring out a fucking, like, I have ideas for TikToks. I just don't know what the best software would be right now that isn't like $200 a year.
You have to do it on your phone.
Ew.
It's TikTok. It's a phone thing. Yeah. How else are you gonna do it?
I mean, you can. I'm sure that there are people. I mean, I've seen plenty of videos that don't look like they were done within the editor. Like they look like they were produced on a computer and rendered on a computer and then posted. Like you see so many people doing simulation videos.
People do.
Simulation TikToks.
People do.
Like it seems like that would be way more tidy. Is like to record it on a high quality camera, edit it, post, like put it, like clean it up, and then put it on TikTok. Like instead of using that format. And of course, I don't want to be on camera, so that's another problem for me.
Right. You just want to like make content. You don't necessarily want to be the content.
Exactly. That's exactly. I don't want to be the content. I want to present information or present funny dumb shit.
That's honestly what I really wanted to do with TikTok, with the podcast. But I know that like between the time that I spend doing editing and all the other stuff with it, I know that I don't have the time to devote to it. Yeah. So,
you're too valuable elsewhere, Jay.
You are. You've got so much shit on your plate right now. You've got so many pots on that stove till.
I know.
Damn, boy.
But that's me. But yeah, it's hard work, but we all love it.
Aries get shit done.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I need that Aries energy. I'm an Aries moon, but it don't do shit for me except for make me mad all the time.
Yeah. It sometimes it's like that. But fortunately for me, I burn hot and fast, and then I'm like, okay, time to work now.
See, that's the dumb shit. I know that we're trying to wrap it up. I'm learning about astrology. I have not put a lot of attention onto astrology at all, but it's starting to kind of explain some things. Okay, I always thought of astrology as kind of like the equivalent of cold reading, where it's so ambiguous. But we've got a couple of really skilled folks that have looked at my natal chart, and they're like, "This is why you are the way you are. You're a Gemini sun, you're an Aries moon, you're Cancer rising. You are constantly shooting yourself in your own foot from birth." It's like, wow. Yes, I am. Fuck.
Damn.
Fuck. Why am I like this? This is why. Like that's
moment
something I ask myself multiple times a day. Why am I like this? Like it's something that my wife is used to hearing. This is why I'm like this.
Why am I like this? And then you just get like a t-shirt printed with your chart on it, and then you just point to your shirt. Oh, this is why. Because I'm
real talk. That is a fucking causal pathway. You should not be advertising to people.
Oh, I know.
Just for everybody out there who didn't, don't be posting your astrology charts to your Instagrams, to your TikToks.
Don't post
any social media.
Your actual chart? That's interesting. Well, yeah, I guess that is a representation of you.
Yeah, it is.
It's your birth time and your place. It's the fucking exact position and time of your conception. That's a fucking tag link.
Like, if you're gonna post your natal chart, block out your name, the time of birth, the year of birth, and where you were born. And somebody with the right level of like weaponized hatred can probably figure it out, but it's highly unlikely that anyone will go to that length. And if they do, they were gonna figure it out in another way anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if they do, watch out anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's not like I'm posting my whole ass natal chart. I'm just saying my rising, my moon, and my
I've said that on the
and I make those jokes on fucking Facebook. Like, if anybody hunts me down on fucking Facebook, they already know all this shit about me anyway. So
y'all already know.
But yeah, like, my natal chart says dumpster fire. That's all you need to know. You know.
We're all dumpster fires here. You're home. Well,
at least we're on brand. Especially
we're
with
trash
this...
because the stars said so.
There you go. Especially with this dumpster fire of an episode that actually turned out to be amazing.
It's actually a great episode.
Honestly,
I love it.
It's
my favorite we've done.
Hey,
don't at me.
I just like every episode, really.
With my friends.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
That's all I ever wanted it to be, and that's all I will continue to have it be.
Pretty fucking chill.
But for now, we do need to wrap up this particular conversation. So
get your milk out them titties.
So we will wrap this up here, and we will see you in the next one.
Have a lovely one, y'all.
Have a good one. Good night.
That was cool.
That was awesome.